Hello everyone and welcome to the Gaming of Warriors channel. I hope you all are having a good day. Well, today we're going to be talking about defensive damage, one of the most important things we need in defending rallies and duels in solo. I'll be giving a full guide to about 240% defensive damage and we'll see how it goes. So let's begin. So let's get started with the dragon glass that most probably everyone use in defending for defense. That's dominance dragon glass level 28. Here it gives me about 23% defensive damage. So I'll say that it's a lot of defensive damage. We'll stay up here and now we go towards our inactivated sphere's crown. I usually use Odin's long sphere, which is giving me good cavalry attacks and stuff. Here it can give you about 20% defensive damage when you have it max attributes. So 20 and 23, that's 43% defensive damage just from the Massey of Gods and the dragon glass. Now let's head up towards our dragon words that many use for that's very important also for defending. Many use sharp deterrence, some use semite, but to have a better defensive damage, the high level players like BK1 Alliance and TVB, PSA, they most probably use God Above because that gives a lot of defensive damage, which is 27%, which is too much, I'll say, and it probably takes our defensive damage right now to 70%. And now we move towards our dragons that many use for defense is red dragon because it gives a very good amount of defensive damage, 15%. So 70 plus 15, that's 85% defensive damage. Just from now we have the dragon glass, we have done the Massey of Gods, we have the dragon words and the wall dragon that we use for defense. Let's just change it right now. Alright people, now we are in our college. The city defense section. College is very important for every type of science, as we know, that's clear. Here it gives a lot of defensive damage from this section, about 35%. We'll see how. Loophole 1 gives 5%. Loophole 2 gives another 10%, that's 15. The non-rally defensive damage, that's also 5, that's 20. Another 5 from here, that's 25. Another 5, that's 30 when maxed. I'm saying that in this video everything is when you max it. So another 5 from here, that's 35%, but the game's not over. We go to our medical treatment section. Another 10% defensive damage is being provided when you have it max over here. So that's 45% just from the college science when you do it. Well now as 85 and another 45, that's 130% defensive damage. We have reached to our 130% level, but a lot of things are still to be consulted. Now we go towards our ancestral spirit, the civilization's ancestral spirits. First the Huxaya. Huxaya is the only ancestral spirit that gives defensive damage. All the rest 3 gives offensive damages. It gives about 16% defensive damage when you have it max. Many have it at max. I've seen myself in some castles. So that's about 146 now. And the Huxaya slaughter. The slaughter section in every civilization gives about 3.5% defensive damage each. I'll show you how. We go toward the Yamato slaughter, another 3.5 from here. The Viking slaughter, another 3.5. And finally our Dragonborn, another 3.5 from here. So that's 14 and 16, which is probably now we have at 160% defensive damage. So 160, we have reached 160% defensive damage. Let's see how it goes further. Now we move towards our equipment section. Equipment always works differently. Like in defense, many people use it, switch it. I'll probably suggest this one if you have to have a good defensive damage. The Armor of Omnipotence gives about 9.64% defensive damage, and so that's the same that if you have it on Lord and the World Hero while defending a rally or something, you'll have probably 19% defensive damage. So that's high, that's very high. Alright, well, 170, and from the Armor of Omni we get 19, that's 189% defensive damage. Now we move towards our heroes. The World Hero, I mostly suggest the Holy Shield, this Arabic hero. This guy gives from his skill points about 3% defensive damage, and from his active skill he has about 10% defensive damage if you have it at 2-star. So this 13%, which is also a good thing, we can get about 192% defensive damage now if you have it equipped on on the wall. So that's 192%. Now we have reached 192% defensive damage. Let's move further. Okay, so now we are in our Sagittara, the Book of Internal Life, Chapter 1. This is also very important for defensive damage. This field gives about 10% defensive damage, and that'll take us to 202% defensive damage. We have it more when you go towards the Book of Balance, chapter number 2. Here it gives another 5% defensive damage, so that's 207% defensive damage, which is quite a good thing. Now we have reached 207% defensive damage. Now I hope everyone's familiar with Alchemy Workshop. Alchemy Workshop, on the other hand, defensive damage, blueprint, orange. If you have it, you can have at least 8% defensive damage. And if you activate it, you can have 8% defensive damage at the orange blueprint. I only have the white blueprint yet. That'll give about 8% defensive damage. We can go from 207 to 215% now defensive damage. We continue how to make more at the fortress section here. When you have it max, you can have about 15% defensive damage when you have about 150k of this toxic gas. So another now 15% is added. Now we have 230% defensive damage. That's quite a mark. That's a very high mark and a very high defensive damage at such level. So let's we still will be searching how to increase it. Let's just keep moving. In the recent updates, I recently learned that the Skok Legion at the embassy section also gives defensive damage of about 5%. Here you can see it max 5%. I've only have it at 1.1% yet. So when you have it max from this the Day of All Sand, you can have 5% defensive damage. So then we have about 235% defensive damage already in our hands. Well, this gallery catalog, on the other hand, in the decoration center, it's probably not many will have it because it's on the skills, but when you have these all skins, these corresponding skins, you can have about, you can see in the bottom, 5% defensive damage. So I also take it a choice because defensive damage is being provided by Clash of Kings at any hand, so we'll take this one as well as an option. And now we can move from 235 to 240% defensive damage. That's a lot now, 240%. Okay guys, so that was all for today, and I literally wanted to help people on how to increase defensive damage, because with higher offensive you also need a higher defensive. As Cox says, sometimes defense is the best attack. So this 240% defensive damage idea I have collected. I'm pretty sure it will be helping you, and please keep watching and subscribe. Take care and bye bye.